Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan set that I have plot synopsis and character bios for these issues. Uh, Kitty Pryde and the Wolverine, number 3 out of 6 from 1984. Look at this. I'm covering X-Men every single day in reading order. Feel free to check out the various playlists. So as you remember I do have a playlist for this. Feel free to check it out. So, um Death. This one though is narrated by Wolverine. So I'm a creature of the wild. I hate cities. I hate civilization with all the idiot rules. So he's standing over here and someone's approaching him. Give me the free open elements, spaces of my mountains, where a man holds his fate on his own hands. No lies, no deceptions, no compromise. And he's just standing there. I like Al Milgrom. He's not very dynamic, but I'm a big fan of the thick brush, which Milgrom does do. So why, I wonder, do I love this land, this city? We're in Tokyo here. It's probably the most structured society on Earth, laced tight with centuries of traditions and ritual, covering every conceivable aspect of public and private life. I was born to one world, but I choose to be a part of the other. I'm Wolverine. And so here we get our credits here. Chris Claremont, Al Milgrom. Tom Zakowski deserves an award for having to letter 3 books in 1 month, all written by Chris Claremont. Glynis Wein, and Nocenti, and Jim Shooter. So, I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice as he blocks Yukio here. She throws the dagger, he pops his claws and gets rid of him here. And we're going to kind of move it on a little bit here. He knows that it's Yukio and they're fighting. He just goes, gotcha. And Yukio says, that, lover, depends on your point of view, as she kisses him here. And so later here, coming up from downwind like you did, I couldn't spot your scent. And Yukio says, that wasn't my intent, Logan. I wanted to surprise you. Crazy stunt could have gotten you killed, Yukio. Logan continues. The risk, dear heart, is what makes the game exciting, as she takes his cigarette, dips it, and then blows smoke on him here. So, how'd you know I was in Japan, much less where to find me? And Yukio says, I have sources. I, too, am very good at what I do. I missed you, Logan-san. And Wolverine says, why, when you know nothing can come of it? And she says, consider me a cockeyed optimist. By the eternal gods, I will never understand what you see in Mariko Yashida. And Wolverine says, you think I do? Of all the women in creation, she's the last I would have expected to love, much less love me in return. But she's the one I treasure most. More fool you, she says. My being in Tokyo has nothing to do with her or you. This is the business, Kitty Pryde, over here in trouble. Kid stowed away on a that's the type of flight, JAL, or the airlines, out of Chicago. I don't know yet. Then tangled with local crime lord named Shingenmatsu. Last night they tried to heist a bank cash machine, and Yukio's like, bravo, there's hope for the child yet. With her power, she'd make a splendid thief. And Wolverine says, she's being held as a hostage in some Yakuza caper. I arranged for her to be released tonight at this temple. And she asks, do you trust Shigematsu? And Wolverine says, nope, but it's worth a try. And Yukio says, leave the Oyabun to me, lover. If he's planning any treachery, I'll find out. And Wolverine says, I appreciate it. She says, take care. Always do, darling. You're the crazy one, he says. So I've but one life. I mean to enjoy every second. If that makes me crazy, so be it. As she jumps down, Wolverine says, seems good to me. And so So Wolverine kind of this is a cool panel. Wonders what the heck possessed Kitty to come to Japan. Wolverine gathers something personal, something she doesn't want the X-Men involved in. And then Wolverine wonders why this specific temple was chosen here. So you can see here that someone is throwing something at him here, and he's like, notices a little too late. It hits him, but it's a stink bomb here. It's trying to throw the senses away, and suddenly an arrow goes, and Wolverine's like, I can't believe I caught myself out here in the open. How could I have been careless? You can see that arrow goes through his leg here, and so he rolls on the floor, snaps the arrow, pops his claws, and I know these. I call them ninja stars. I know they have a proper name, but I don't know what they are here. Al Milgrom reminds me a lot of Klaus Janson. Like I said, I love that thick brush of his here. So Wolverine goes, I'm a sitting duck. I need some room to maneuver here. So, and Wolverine goes, he can't see or hear anything. They're keeping their distance, which Wolverine says is a smart move, which means that they know how to fight him. And so he uses that little bit of a breather to pull that arrow out. So, ouch. Love the dry brush being employed here. But here we go behind him. And Wolverine's like, I wonder what the next move is. And of course, you see them slash here. And so they fight here. Of course, if you've been following this, you do know who this is here. And Wolverine fights, and then he missed her. But how? Of course, it's because she phased. Because of course, he goes to try and hits her from behind and falls down. I can imagine what would have been like if Frank Miller would have done this, or Jim Lee. And that's what I mean, that it looks very stiff, and it's serviceable. And if somehow we could get Al Milgrom to get a little bit of the Jim Lee-isms or Mark Silvestri-isms, but still ink with that nice, beautiful, thick brush, my goodness gracious. So Wolverine falls, hits the floor, and so you can see here that the arrow has poison, and he needs to act quickly, and you can see that he's in the street. Everybody's kind of going. You can see the poison is in there, and he's just gonna shack right and hide. Sorry, he thinks he's gonna die here. He's like, sorry Kitty, you deserved better. And so now she is at Shigematsu's home or penthouse or whatever, but he seems to have taken off, and it's like Wolverine must have scared him to death or something, because he left. So she's having his wine, opens the door, and here you can see she realizes the name on the briefcase, so it's Carmen Pryde, Kitty's dad, and she's like, oh, can't believe such a noble child could have been sired by such a wreck. And then from behind her, she's grabbed by one of his bodyguards, and she gets out by hitting him in the ears, which I'm quite sure hurts. And then hits him in the eyes, and then she flips him, and he goes out the window, and he's gonna fall, and he's like, no, 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 no. And heights make you nervous, bodyguard. And he goes, save me, have mercy, I beg you. Why should I? This is no more than the fate you meant for me. He's like, please, I'll do anything. Talk is cheap, and you're so very fat. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold you. In fact, you're already starting to flip, she says, and look at him scream, no. And so, where's the girl? What girl? Bye. Shigematsu-san gave her to the running Ogun. Ogun, why? Ogun asked for her as payment in full for all services he has rendered my master Shigematsu. I know no more. Oh, please, pull me up, Yukio, please. And you can see he's pretty high up. And she's like, would Ogun give Kitty Pryde up if I asked. My master would not be so great a fool as to even try. Wolverine's walking into an ambush then. Shigematsu never intended to honor his word. Yes, yes, he says. All right, blimp, you've earned your life. Come up. And the guy comes through and she pulls him up, and then the bodyguard, of course, is like, ha! And then he pulls her. He does that to her. He's like, so much for generosity. What are you doing, fella? Leave her alone. And then he, since you're concerned for the woman, dog, why don't you go join her? And he's like, pity about the American. My master had important plans for him. Shigematsu-san will not be pleased. No matter. I'll blame everything on his would-be rescuer, Yukio. So, of course, she does grab him and grabs this, whatever this thing is called, but it doesn't hold them because they're coming in too fast here, and it rips. And so, but she breaks through, breaks the window, and comes through, and this guy's like, I'm gonna be sick. And she says, later, hear those alarm? In a few minutes, we'll be crawling with guards, and as much as I'd love a rematch with that blimp Shamai, we're needed elsewhere. Rest assured, though, you mountain of soot, we shall meet again one last time. She yells at the bodyguard, and so elsewhere, of course, we see our villain here looking for Wolverine, who is no longer there, and Wolverine's like, surprise sucker, I got better. Now it's my turn. And so Wolverine follows our mysterious person, which again, if you've been keeping up with this, you know who it is. If you don't, I suggest you go into the playlist and go in there. And Wolverine's like, I'm not going to lose them. They know they're there. Wolverine gets rid of this stuff and fight. He thinks he keeps missing her. Of course, we all know he's not. They go to the train, follows the train, and a flash bomb gone. Wolverine's just like, goodness gracious, this person is good. It's like fighting a ghost here. So, they, Yukio and Carmen Pryde are in this car here. And you see Yukio goes, make a right at the corner. That'll put you on a service road parallel to the railroad. But miss, do as I say, Pryde. And if you want so much as a smudge and if you so much as smudge the paint on my beauty, he goes, don't sweat it, lady. I already wish you'd left me back with Shigematsu. And so here we go. Wolverine over. We're going to get the big reveal here. And so Wolverine's like wondering what the heck. And so as Yukio's running, Shiga says, there he is. His square's heading for the fence. I can cut them off. And Carmen's like, more costume crazy. Maybe they'll kill each other and I'll finally be free of this nightmare. But what about Kitty? I can't abandon her. Good Lord. Don't they see? And then he goes, that train. And so they are fighting in there. These are bullet trains. They're super fast here. And Wolverine so pushes this out of the way. The mask has come up just so that we reveal Kitty's face. And of course Carmen's there too. And then look at this panel here next to Rebirth. But look at that. It's actually a pretty good panel. So all right, Kitty Pryde and the Wolverine, number 3, Chris Claremont and Al Milgrom. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.